I think there is an incredible pervasive anxiety, a crippling anxiety on some levels within the aid business. I hear people at Oxfam saying, well, I'd like to write a blog, but I'm scared of making a mistake. Or I'd like to leave a comment, but I'm scared people would laugh at me. And it's, you know, and they are normally women, I have to say, so it's gendered as well, this anxiety thing. But I think we need to understand why people in the aid business are so anxious and so worried about making mistakes or doing things differently. And until we understand, we need to get the psychologists in, because until we understand that, all this kind of grand theorizing is going to have very little effect. People are just kind of hunkered down, and the way they express that fear is by saying, I'm too busy. I'm too busy to think, I'm too busy to take a risk. I've just got so much work, I don't have to think anymore. Isn't that great? So anxiety and the cult of busyness are linked, I think, and we need to get inside that and see how we could disrupt that, because at the moment I think it's really a block.
The most successful groups in the multi-stakeholder side, before we get to Sendai, were the ones who actually decided we want 5 things out of this process. And they kept working on these 5 things. Informally, formally in the negotiations. Other groups were not so successful. Maybe the lists were a bit too long. Maybe they were not sufficiently clear. Maybe they were not united. The same thing in the UN, not just on the outside.
And last night I was thinking about change, and I was thinking about my children and how, you know, we watch our kids and they take their first step and they have their first smile and they do crazy things along the way. And they're actually changing. But we never talk about that change as a sudden change. Change happens all the time. Maybe we are always looking for big waves of change and we ignore the little ripples. And maybe that's what's problematic in the humanitarian system.
In tech environments, there are debates about whether the best, say, IT solution is the perfect one, is the most up-to-date one, or the most leading-edge one, or it's the one that people can understand and make work. And similarly, in large organizations where there's a big, large transformations going on, there's a tension for those concerned about whether changes can come about because somebody makes an edict and says, this is how we're going to be different from now on, and this is how you're going to be operating differently, or endeavoring to engage people in the change process. And so that sort of bywords for me are things like engagement, contribution, and participation. These are means to developing organizations and their ends. You want engagement, participation, contribution. And one of the ways that organization developments consultants try to distinguish ourselves from management consultants is that we believe that engagement is fundamental, and we expressly seek to engage staff in day-to-day work and in change. And that sometimes can be slower.